Bringing you newsmakers, movers and shakers who are making the news or who are in the news. My guest tonight is Honorable Pendukeni Idvula Itana, the Minister of Home Affairs and Immigration. And tonight's edition is in celebration of International Women's Day. So to all the women out there, we definitely wish you all the best in your daily endeavors. Good evening, Honorable, and welcome to One on One.
Good evening, Patrick, and good evening, Namibia.
Let's just start, obviously in light of International Women's Day, you made history by being the first woman to ever contest for party president last year. You didn't win it, but definitely it showed that women are able to contest for this. Tell us a little bit about this experience as a woman contesting for the top position that could have led to being president of the country.
Well, contestation is a democratic exercise, and it does not really have a home to say it's only for men or only for women. I have participated in contestations for some time. Mm-hmm. This was not the first. It was probably the first in its magnitude, mm-hmm. that it was really to deliver somebody, to another level. Otherwise, I felt as a Namibian, as a woman, as a leader, what could prevent me from participating, so long as it's done within the regime of our party, mm-hmm. a regime governing the country. So really, I felt at home. Okay. I knew also that when you participate in a contestation and you are 3 or 2, one of you will have to win. And if you have not won, that's not the end of the world.
Yes, but let's look a little bit about, the nature of this contestation. Generally, when you do see, historically, it was the first time that a woman was contesting for party president. That could have made you the first woman president of the country. So in that regard, we saw that, for instance, the SWAPO Women's League didn't necessarily support your candidacy. What does that speak of a woman supporting women running for positions?
Well, that is not really something that could be said that it's endemic in women's thinking, mm-hmm. or women's makeup. Individuals differ, understandings differ, and you don't necessarily support a candidate just because that candidate happens to be of your gender. Maybe people were looking at other things, mm-hmm. other than just gender. Of course, it could have made a different sense had the Women's Council rallied behind the candidate. Probably it could have sent another message. But you look at what had happened really in its infancy, in its first of its kind. Mm. And therefore, really, we were breaking ice. I kept saying, I broke the ice. Mm. I was determined to say, if I cannot, show the Namibian women that a woman can stand for all the position, any position within the party, more so that the party for the first time included that in our rules of procedure.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about then your appointment as a Home Affairs Minister, probably the ministry that historically had the most complaints in terms of service delivery. Mm. Was it different for the first time that a woman, not obviously as a minister, but as somebody that was able to change service delivery? How was that in terms of, a lot of the times people are saying women should be there based on quotas versus being based there on merit, and changing the ministry. What does that signify?
Well, when I went to Home Affairs, if I was made to choose, obviously I wouldn't have accepted to go to Home Affairs for obvious reasons. But then I sat down and told myself that Home Affairs is a very important ministry of our country, serving the nation from birth to death and in between. And if I cannot make my contribution to help the citizenry of our country to get what they are entitled to get in terms of civic service, then whom else can I say it's only you and not me?
But then, you know, that's interesting for me. Obviously, you have a track record now where you have done well. But then, do you think that achievement necessarily translates into your position in the party? For instance, you know, not making it onto the parliament list through the vote, but the president bringing you back and then bringing you back as minister. Do you think your leadership at a national level affects your position in the party?
Well, there are dynamics wherever you go. And I don't want really to get into the dynamics of what had
your
happened.
Achievements.
But my achievements speak for themselves.
Yes, but then how does that, in terms of mobilizing people at a party level to vote for you, wouldn't it say Pendukile Ivulaitana has the merit to then be on the 96th list to Parliament? I mean, it seems very disjointed.
Very, very disjointed. I agree with you. But I have served my party in whatever level before. And I have told myself, my record speaks for itself. I'm not in a habit of lobby and doing all kinds of things for people to vote for me. If, for whatever reasons, they were convinced that this is not the person we want this time around, I have no problem with that either.